Hello and welcome to today's nope, not that wild Hearthstone, got there in the end, deck tech and gameplay video on the third version of Elemental Mage. Elemental Mage, much like the last couple of versions, are all about playing elementals ideally in succession to various effects. We have cards that are like Kindling Elemental and Aqua Archivist that will help us to, besides being elementals themselves, will help reduce the cost of some of our bigger, scarier elementals like Neptulon, Animated Avalanche, and even Blaze Callers, where Blaze Caller and Animated Avalanche are in the other category of elementals that care basically about you having played an elemental last turn. So that is what the deck is basically trying to do, like we talked about. Playing elementals each and every turn, ideally for some sort of aforementioned benefit for having played an elemental last turn, but even if you just need to play setup elementals like Aqua Archivist, hell, Flame Revenant can also be a good one to play. Since you can't play nothing but cards that only care if you played elementals last turn, you need some elementals that you don't mind playing that are good ones to either get the chain started or are good ones to get the chain started again after having taken turns off, which are rare but will happen. So we have the elementals we like to play, the cards that care about elementals being played previously, and we have some glue cards like Magatha and Book of Specters and even Elemental Evocation, all of which are just cards that sort of help to like plug all the gaps and really bring the deck together into a deck that is just as strong as previous versions and has gotten a little stronger, as this is one of the few decks that I'm very proud of and has honestly got a whole lot of legs to it. And I'm going to say this now and at the end, this is one of those decks that I'd absolutely recommend you play. Elementals are in a really good spot. They're very good. They're a lot of fun. They'll get you rewards. They'll climb you pretty good. They'll get you quests. It's a perfect all-around deck, and I really think you'll have a lot of fun with it. But anywho, don't forget to like the video if you like it, subscribe if you like my grab bag of content, and would like to see more in the future. And if you have any sort of questions like, I don't have X, what about Y, or other generally nice and or constructive comments, go ahead and leave those down in the comments below, and I'll do what I can to respond to what I see. With all that out of the way, we'll go on now to game number 1. And game number 1 with our little Elemental Mage list. And this is a perfectly fine opener. Well, not perfectly fine. We have a thing to do on 1. We'll throw back the Sleet Skater. Hi, Goofball. You want to come hang out with Dad? No? Okay. We'll keep the Lamplighter in case we need to remove some various creature threat from our opponent. There you go, sweetheart. Perfectly fine. A little odd. We're probably not going to be able to, like, cleanly use the ramped mana, but even if we don't, it's fine. That'll do. A little awkward, but it's fine. We care more so about keeping the chain going than like proper use of our mana, since the real strength of the deck, as you can see, comes from when we manage to keep the elemental chain rolling, not necessarily when we happen to ramp a whole lot. Ramping is just a nice little extra thing that some elementals can do, though it isn't necessarily what you're always trying to do, if that makes any sense. Play an Archivist to keep the chain going, trade into the Silver Hand, and just go face. And with all of these elementals that can generally interact with your opponent's board when they come in, it's pretty easy to develop a board and fight for board control, since that is really what this deck wants to do. We're pretty all in on making a big scary board and getting rid of theirs and applying just eventually like grinding down amounts of pressure. It's one of those things. Yeah, we'll do a Lamplighter. Why not? Tossed around. Sorry if my brain's all over the place. Today's been a long day. We'll play the Revenant. What I'm trying to say is that I was tossing around in my head, playing the Tainted Remnant for, in theory, more damage, but it could have gone in weird places and not have removed the threat I wanted to remove. And I care more so about developing our board and keeping our opponent's board in check, since this deck does that pretty effortlessly. We don't want to go ahead and, especially when we're far ahead, we don't want to throw away whatever little lead we've managed to get if we don't need to. That being said, now we'll do Tainted Remnant. Odds are we'll get rid of it. If we don't have to sacrifice our actual creatures on board to control their board, we try not to. But if we need to, you can always, you know, throw little smaller dudes here and there into the fray if you need to. But unless our opponent does something, there's a good chance they're in a lot of trouble. That's something. That indeed qualifies as something. Is there any world in which I kill them? For... Technically, yes, but practically no. So we'll just do a Lamplighter to get rid of the Life Stealer. Or, yeah, Life Stealer. I was going to say Lifelink, but that's the wrong game. Play the Shale Spider. There was nothing we were going to draw that was going to affect our upcoming play that drastically. It just wasn't going to happen. What was the last battle? Oh, okay. That's interesting. I don't know if I care, though, right? Honestly, yeah, we're just going to play a Tainted Remnant. Probably get rid of something on their board. Good enough. We will play the Tar Slime, though. Don't want to give him a free trade into the Tainted Remnant, since this by itself threatens lethal. In addition, we also have the Gyre Worm and a hero power, so we can sneak some extra damage in here and there. See what our opponent's doing. Okay, that gets them... Oh, well, hang on. Yeah. They're still dead. I was about to say, but that could have gone very weird for them. And then we just sneak in some damage here and there. That's it. Honestly, that's a great example of how this deck wants to work. And even if you manage to lose the board through just the inevitable course of a card game, you can... Not only can you get it back relatively easy with a lot of those ETB damage sort of elementals that can kind of generate value and a little bit of tempo, but you can also use those things that would be used for removal, like any burn spell, and just go face if you need to. But yeah, pretty good game one, and now we'll go on to game number 2. And game number 2 with our little elemental mage. Blazecaller and Tainted Remnant are a little expensive. We don't have... let me rephrase that. We don't... I thought we got rid of you. We don't love to play some of the like chain elementals in a vacuum if we don't have to, but we always can if we need to in a pinch. But most mages I've seen in testing with this list are pretty slow, so if we needed to wait till turn 3 to play a Blazing Accretion to get the chain rolling that way, we could do that pretty easily. Not a quest. Quest can get a little weird. What's the treasure legendary thing for... That's good. We'll take a Flame Revenant. What is the thing for fucking Mage? Isn't it like the bird where you like get a Titan and it costs like 1 mana or something? They sadly trade immediately into the Revenant, but that's fine. In that case, I think we'll just Evocation into a Tainted Remnant. Odds are we remove the thing and are now left with a big scary threat. can't really ask for much more than that. That's fine. I don't think... Yeah, if I don't remember exactly what the Mage reward for the treasures are, I'm gonna find out real soon. Guess we can do a gyre worm or a gyre worm, and like coin to a hero power. Hope they're... It's a good 2-drop. Doesn't get rid of the 7/4 at least, so we can always continue to apply pressure with that. Still, feeling pretty good. I'm not the most certain what their deck is. I would say other than a pile, and I don't mean that in a negative way, as it often can be, and I do sometimes mean it that way. I just mean pile in that there's not a whole lot of like throughput, if that makes sense, or like underlying philosophy to their deck, as far as I can tell. In the meantime, I guess we draw with the Shale Spider first. Okay. Nah, we gotta get rid of it. Part of me wants to play the Accretion or whatever. I don't know how you pronounce that. We're gonna say Accretion, but I might be wrong. Okay. That's cute. So, like, yeah, some sort of, like, treasure mage thing. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Don't have anything that good to do, so now we'll play the Blazing. The old Accretion here. Magatha's not that needed right now. And I guess we'll spend the rest of our mana fighting for board control. They do have the legendary, right? They've excavated or whatever enough times. Yeah, random Titan cost. Okay, good. It's what I thought it was. This might be the first time I've seen this in person. It's not that it's a bad card. It's just like weirdly probably the most fair. We'll go ahead and Blaze Caller that. While we just have a clean target for it. If they get a big scary Titan, we can always freeze it and gain some armor and stall until we can eventually get to a Neptulon and probably deal with it like that. That's fine. I think they're on the common one now, right? Might just hero power that down. Unless they had like another Trog or something. Some of the more removally ones are not. Oh, okay, never mind. They got there anyway. Lamplighter helps. Honestly, helps a lot. Lamplighter, getting rid of the clean target. Do an Archivist. Hero power. That way, if we need to, again, play the Neptulon next turn, we can. Okay, so they're just like an Excavate Mage. Cool, though. I like it. And they're going to have enough, a couple of Titans floating around, so that's like a good, like, sort of thing to ramp into. Not ramp into, to work into, I should say. Go for the trade. Does it go through? Okay, duplicates a thing. But that's fine. Did we just play an Avalanche? Draw some cards. That's fine. Don't mind losing the Book of Specters. Since basically all of our card draws, whenever they miss, all they do is hit our other card draw. That's a good one, though. It's unfortunate. Please don't. Oh, thank God. I was going to say, if he managed to return the Yogg, I was going to be, like, the most salty person the world has ever known. I think we can save the Neptulon, right? Correction, I might not be able to save the Neptulon. Maybe. They're Flame Walkers, but, like, I don't think they matter that much. We unfortunately have to do this, otherwise we just die. There's a possibility I might eat my words and these two Flame Walkers are going to absolutely roast me and kill me this turn. But they haven't shown they have like a whole lot of really cheap spells to... Again, I might be wrong, but they haven't... Yeah, they haven't shown themselves to have a whole lot of cheap spells. He says before they have cheap spells. We might be in trouble. I still like the deck, though. It's very cool. There's a lot that kills me, in theory, then. We're not dead. Oh, now we're dead. Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, well done by our opponent. They did a good job of being able to outboard control us, since that is one of the like ways you really can get with this deck, because it is a lot of, it's very board centric, and while you do have good abilities to fight for board space and board control against a more like committed control deck, which is kind of what they are in a weird way, and not in like a negative way, they're just more controlling than we are. Since they're doing what we want to do at a better level and can sort of outperform us, that is one way you can lose. You can get out-controlled. But it's still like a good showing for the list, and the list isn't invulnerable. But it's fun, and a good one, and I still think you should play it. And it's a lot of fun. And again, I really like our opponent's list. It was like genuinely a very interesting brew that I had not seen. And I always enjoy when people try things. So even if, one, I'm not that connected to the loss. I don't care that much about it, especially since I've hit gold with this list in testing. But if I lose to like a new interesting brew I haven't seen, then fucking what are we doing, baby? That's it. That's what we want to do all day. But anywho, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video if you like it. Subscribe if you like my grab bag of content and would like to see more in the future. And if you have any sort of questions, or generally nice and or constructive comments, I'll do what I can to respond to what I see. Thank you all so much for watching, and since it's about to snow, at least where I am tomorrow, pretty heavily, stay safe, stay warm, don't go out if you don't gotta go out. Money is money, it's all material things, you can buy more. Your safety is more important. Anywho, bye-bye.